I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. Waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I said I woke up in the morning, now I got the key. I gotta wake up, be all I can be. Then I be online, I call up all my friends. I feel them it's time for the everyday win. And then I hop on the train, success express. Put the cash out, and I'm feeling so. I got that money on my mind, and now it's time to go. Jiggas, and you know I'm about to blow. And here we go. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. Waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win.
Woo! I'm back on Monday morning. Here we are once again. My name is EDWIN. Hopefully I'm coming in hot. Hopefully, can you hear me? If you can hear me, say yay. If you don't hear me, say no. But that's all right. We on the go. I have a dream. Yep. I have a dream, y'all. I got Martin Luther King sitting in front of me today, and it keeps me dreaming, y'all. Keeps me dreaming. You know, it's so interesting yesterday. I was in the park yesterday, and it reminded me of back when I was like 25 years old, you know, and I had the opportunity to go the first time to Africa. And I was in the park yesterday with my box, my speaker box, my Bluetooth speaker box, and I went to the stage where I normally go, and at this time, you know, nobody was on the stage, but they was having a party at the tables in front of the stage. It was a few people. So instead, I ended up walking just into the grass, you know, because I was inspired yesterday by a message that I heard from TD Jakes. And TD Jakes was talking about let it go, you know, let it go, let things go, let people go. And you know, and how, you know, he went to the 23rd Psalm, and 23rd Psalm says, you know, it talks about green pastures, laying down in green pastures and lead it beside the still waters and restoring your soul. So I thought about the blessing that I have every single day of my life that way, right outside. I mean, one straight shot straight that way to my left. There's a park called Sunset Park. I mean, literally about not even a mile away, there's a pond, a lake, and it's always kind of like still, and the ducks, unless the wind is blowing, and it's not blowing that much here in Las Vegas. But I walk past this, and that's where I take my walk every day, and it's very, very serene and calm. And then there's tons of grassy areas to where I literally go into the grassy areas. I always take off my shoes and my socks, and I stand in the middle of this green grass area. But yesterday I did this, and instead of going to interrupt these people's party, I went and just sat in the green grass, and I just sat there, and on top of my box, you know, it's like a little seat. So I sat there, and next thing you know, 3 people approached me. One passed by and said, you hungry? And he kept going because he was doing something. And then number 2, next thing, 2 other ladies come and they say, you hungry? You want to come? So, you know, and I said, well, sure, I eat. You know, I'm just sitting here in the grass. So I ended up going over there, letting these people use my box. And, you know, and I always thought about the blessing that happened when I went to Africa, because this was a group of African people from the Gold Coast. And, you know, I thought about how when I went to Africa the first time, I mean, they treated me like royalty. Like, I mean, like it was the first time I felt like royal and feel like, you know, where I have been lied to here in America. You know, I was like, man, you know what? They lied to us. They didn't tell us the truth. You know, we got a different type of direction. We got a different type of directive in our life. And if we follow that direction, you know, which is the spirit on the inside, you know what I mean? We'll get to the places where people will treat us like the way we're supposed to be treated. I mean, and then we have to learn in our life how to treat people the way they're supposed to be treated. We're all royal. We're made in God's image. And God wants us to treat people like he treats us. You know, he leads us beside the still waters. You know, we lie down. He will make it where we lie down in green pastures, and he will always restore our soul. So today, I got a great guest. He's amazing. He's a brother. He's a friend. He always, you know, is giving, and he's selfless in his act. He wakes up every single morning to give a word of encouragement and motivation to those who may be watching and those who may be listening. Also, he puts it on video so that way, if you need to watch it again, he's a businessman. He's a friend, like I said before, and he's a grindologist. He grinds all the time because he's actually grinding because we getting into the groove real soon. We're gonna be grinded all the way to where we sitting and chilling in the groove. But you got to get the grind first. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to some, present to others, my friend, the grindologist himself, KeJohnna, Keyman Owens. What's going on, man? I cannot hear you because you on mute.
They call it a button. They call it a button, man. That's what you said the other day, man. Nothing but the work, sir. Thank you for having me on the show, man. Nothing work but the work, man. Thanks.
Nothing work but the work, man. Hey, man, it's a good morning. It's motivational Monday mornings right here on the Success Express Podcast Network, just like it says up there in the bar, up there across the top. You see what I'm saying? It's the Success Express Podcast Network. And you, my friend, are the co-founder of Success Express.
Wow. You know, co-founder. That's you know, with my dad, man, I thank you for the opportunity to speak on that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My father years ago saw a vision of making a powerful impact with people that, you know, had the ambition and the drive and the tenacity to win for themselves and their families and others in the community. And, you know, it's 2000, that was in the 80s, and then there's a 2000, and I just saw it. We talked about it, man, and it's just an amazing concept. And then we've been doing it, man, and it's amazing to have you on board, man, bringing the brand to a Krispy Kreme, top of the hill brand development company, man. I'm excited about what we're about to do, man. But sir, you said a lot about me, man. You out there, man. You got your amazing podcast. You're waking people up to win. You're making a difference. And all I know that if you're willing to do the work, that's the only way you get the production. You know, a lot of people want to get production before the work, man. So it's an honor to be connected to somebody that's willing to do work and apply the work to the level of the faith. Amazing.
You know, one thing I know, man, is that having good direction is the most important thing in the world. Having a sense of direction. You might not even know exactly where you may end up, because none of us do. When it comes to spirit walk, none of us know exactly where we're going to end up. But one thing that we have to do, and one thing that we should know to do, is to start the walk. You know, and I'm not talking about, you know, we have to have direction. Like we got GPS to where, you know, if we need to go somewhere and get in our cars, we got our telephones. And, you know, that's a part of the direction because it gives us clear sense of where we're going. You know, we used to have to do, if we wanted to go somewhere, we had to you remember the days we had the key map? You remember the key map?
Yeah, early days right there, man.
Yeah.
So much technology now. Yeah. Yes.
And then you go to key map. You went from the key map to the Google, where you go online and you print out the directions. Now you know exactly which way to go. You go, you know, I don't know how old some people are on it watching the broadcast, but you know what? I'm over 40. You know what I mean? And 20 years ago, we had to print out Google Map, print it out. Okay. Now we don't have to, you know, like the invention of this, the smartphone, which came about 10 years ago, not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
12. I remember when I remember about 11 years ago, a young man walked into my office with a smartphone, and I hated it. I was like, man, I'm not gonna be pushing them little old small buttons. I'm not gonna be doing none of that. I don't have a clue of what you talking about. That ain't the kind of phone I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this flip phone right here, because the flip phone, it does exactly what I needed to do. I need to do that. That's what you do.
You know, and sometimes just like that, you know, we could be so far sometimes behind. Like at that time, that was new technology. It sounded weird. You know, Google, for example. I was studying stocks and investments and this weird, you know, putting my own portfolio together, a mock draft. And Google was one of my mocks. Early investment. It's going to start off at $85 a share. Couldn't really even say the word. It sounded funny. $85. Listen, you're talking about now $300, $400, $500 to get a stock in it. And when information comes across, we just sometimes not ready for it. And that's one of those examples. But look what you've done. Now you developing websites on the cell phones and apps and all kinds of stuff, man. It's amazing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, and that's amazing because, you know, I even went back to school to do what I'm doing now. I mean, even though I went back to school, I was still a little bit behind in the utilizing the technology that is always available. I make it a point now to listen and go into moving into the new things that happen, because you know it's important, it's imperative, especially being here in the entertainment capital of the world. You know, one of them here in, I don't know what other places, you know, besides New York or Times Square, you know what I mean? LA, Hollywood. You know what I mean? So Las Vegas is like a Hollywood and like a Times Square, because it's all
Okay.
the other ones have cities around them. So, but you know what? My focus right now, my direction right now is to build a city around Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're doing it. You know, well, don't let me be the one to, you know, give out the good news to everyone, but man.
Well, I would say this, you know, I'm not going to talk about the fullness of the vision that I have inside me. I do have a vision of building a technological city, a city that actually everything is techno key, but it's, you know, I'm not going to give out the vision right off here publicly on the broadcast, because, you know, some things you just got to hold on to and manifest. But I will talk about direction, you know, direction. And that's what the show is all about today on Motivational Mondays. I have 7 steps, 7 keys to finding your direction in life. Okay. 7 keys. And, you know, I want to just first, before I do that, I want to talk about the direction of my show. My show has a direction on Mondays. Let's flip through them. On Mondays, we got Motivational Mondays with myself and KeJohnna Owens. Every Monday, this is what we do here at Wake Up to Win. We are here to help you find your direction. Motivational Mondays on Tuesdays. We have terrific Tuesdays with the founder of Get Published Successfully, Dr. John L. Mack, which is Get Published Successfully. He helps you to take your book idea and to be able to bring it to the marketplace. So that's on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we have my friend, one of the greatest motivational teachers that I've had in my world. Her name is Lindsay King. She owns a company called Accelerate Your Life, and she's very, very, very keen on energy and helping people find their direction from within. That's Lindsay King on Wednesdays. On Thursdays, Thrive Thursdays, guys. Thrive Thursdays with my man, the King Motivator himself, And, you know, and right now we're looking for our Friday, our new guest. We're going to handle it. We're going to handle it on Fridays with Financial Freedom Fridays. KeJohnna, Owens, and I are going to handle it, because the goal for Financial Freedom Fridays, y'all, is to motivate you on how to go from literally maybe not even having any finances to building a financial future for yourself, and being able to encourage and motivate people on how that happens. You know what I mean? So that's Financial Freedom Friday, but I'm looking for a Financial Freedom Friday coach, someone who understands money, understand how money work, understand how money is a seed, and understand how not per se. So, I would love somebody in business, but you don't have to be in business to understand how money works. You know what I mean? Yeah. Literally. I mean, I'm telling you, I got a situation. Anybody heard of the YMCA? You heard of YMCA?
Man, many times. Grew up playing in the YMCA as a kid.
I love the YMCA. For one, I like the letters, because the Y is the last letter to my book, Victory. And it's so important, man. If you would, why don't you lift your hands up like that with me, KeJohnna, right there, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up, not halfway, all the way up. Make the V, because this is not.
I'm glad I don't have no underarm stains and stuff.
You straight today, because you look. This right here is a U. I see people lifting their arms. This is not how you get the victory. Your victory is
all the way up.
The V. Okay. That's the victory. So I tell people that when you know how to really see, I see people, in church, they halfway lift their hands. Lift your hands and lift them up like this. No, confidently lift your hands to the sky. I don't care if you got the wet stains under here or not. It doesn't matter, because those wet stains might be the anointing that you need to succeed. It's called sweat. It's called sweat. And that's one thing that you will do for the rest of your life on this earth. You will sweat. And if you don't sweat, that means you're not working hard enough. Man,
I always come back to the work, man.
Come on, man. If you're not sweating, listen, man, listen. Christ, he sweat blood. You feel me? On the cool. How much blood have you sweat in your direction in your life? Let's go to number one. Number one. Now, finding direction in life. Let me explain what direction is before we hit number one. Finding the right direction in life is an essential problem that most of us face. Whether you're fresh out of college, figuring out what you want to do in your 20s, or you realize that life no longer serves you. These steps that I'm about to give you will help you find your direction. Number one, draw the line between thinking and overthinking. While taking time to think about big life decisions, of course, is important, but overthinking leads to paralysis. I call it analysis paralysis, deferred decisions, and self-doubt.
Absolutely.
Untimely, it'll cause you to be untimely, and it also will also sometimes lead you to inaction. With every obstacle that comes up, ask yourself, is this genuine? Is this a genuine concern, or am I using this as an excuse to not follow my passion because I feel scared?
Man, that's heavy. If I can, right there, man. I think that POOR, passing over opportunities repeatedly. That's that overthinking process right there, right off the top. It's a great idea. It's a great concept. You feel good about it. And you go back into the drawing board, you start to think about it. And over a couple of days, you can't even really remember the full body of it because you didn't activate. You got to activate and get engaged. Absolutely, man. Don't overthink it. Overdo it.
I got several wonderful friends in my life, and wonderful friends. Good morning, Miss Arkansas. She's watching right now. Miss Arkansas will be on live with us at 9 o'clock. Laugh out loud. We're gonna get a laugh in on Monday, y'all. But I got a lot of wonderful friends in my life. My Tuesday co-host, Erica Young, with Victoria's Vibes. She's on the road right now, on her way to Austin, Texas. And I was so inspired to hear about her journey going to Austin, Texas, because I'm watching her come out of one situation and moving toward the destiny of the life that the Most High God has planned for her. But, you know, she had to literally figure out how to let go, you know, because if you want it bad enough, if you want something bad enough, you got to realize there's forces, there's energy that do not want you to get to your destination. You know, some people in church call him the devil. You know what I mean? If you don't believe in the devil, there's still a negative force out here that is going to try to pull you back from getting to your perfect design destiny in life. You know, and to me, I don't care what you call it, that is a devil. That's a devil that don't want you to win. Okay, the devil don't want you to win. Okay, so you realize that as you start moving to your destiny in life, the first thing that's gonna happen is gonna mess with your mind. I think I can become the greatest singer in the world. Oh, you can't become the greatest singer in the world. You got too much competition. You don't got nobody writing no music with you. Your songs don't sound good to nobody. You've been writing songs forever, and don't nobody want to hear you. You know what I mean? That's the devil talking.
Man, you coming down the pipe right there. We share the vision that God gave us as independent, as individuals, and share with somebody here and expect for them to see what was shown to us. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna have to activate. That's it. Yes, sir.
Number two, how do you get over this problem with overthinking and when you draw that line? You got to draw the line. Number two, take action. Finding the right direction in life is something that happens to you. It's not, I'm sorry. Let me say that. Let me interject the not. It's not something that happens to you. Now, this point right here is something that you create. Man, listen, man, we sat up here and I remember the day. It's been over 90 days now. Over 90 days now. 90 days, over 90 days. When I saw you, and I've seen you for many, many, many years now, okay? Now, many years now, I've seen you get online and podcast and develop what you've been doing since the time we met. And I've seen you this particular year, particularly last year, at the end of last year, and this year, you were doing podcasting real heavy here on StreamYard. And I remember over 90 days ago, I said to you, man, hey, I want to do something like that. And in 27 minutes, you had me up with my first product, whether I knew how to do it or not, whether I knew what it was going to lead to or not. The Success Express train that's behind you right there, when I jumped on and I took action to jump on it, it led us right here to this day. I believe this is the 10th of May. You see what I'm saying? To this day, on now over 90 podcasts. Not worried about the number of people watching. Not worried about how many likes or shares. Not worried about who cares or what doesn't care, who wake up and win. I don't. At the end of the day, if you don't wake up to win with me, I don't care. Why? Man. Because it's the early bird that catches the worm. And if you don't catch the worm, by the time you get up, the worm gonna be sold to the person by the person who got up to catch the worm. So that means if you really want to make some money in your life, you need to get up and start asking questions, and you need to get up and start making contacts and take action on a daily basis. You know what? This means that at the same point, you're going to have to stop thinking about taking action and act. I mean, you know, now listen. This right here is interesting, man. That right there. I want to take this, and I'm gonna let you speak on it. But watch this though. Watch this. I came to Vegas, man. I came to Vegas in January, February 2019, and I stepped on stage at the Artisan, and they had a live band. They asked me what song I want to sing. I say, well, shoot. Johnny Gill, my, because I know I can kill it. You know what I mean? So the band played, and I had my red jacket on. Boom, 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 and I sang, "Put on your red dress," and they said, "Ooh, emotions got heat it up. And normal, you know, I'm normal with that. I mean, I know exactly how to heat the emotions up. I'm a singer, and I know I can burn up a stage. If you come to my stage, it's gonna be like a bonfire. You're gonna watch it burn. I promise. You know what I mean? So I did this. I did this show, and I was a little naive at the point because they love me. Okay, so I made a decision. I said, well, shoot. If they love me, they don't love me in Oceanside, California. They don't love me in San Diego. They don't love me in Houston. So guess what? I'm going to go where they're going to love me at. So I made a decision. I took action. I said, I'm going to go to Houston, and I'm not going to come back to Vegas and sing nobody else's songs. Yeah, you know, when you make, sometimes you make statements, you don't realize that might be what you have to do, okay, to get your stuff. But you know, what I did, I took action. I went home. I recorded as many studio recorded songs as I could that whole summer. And in August, I came back to Vegas and I sang at the Rio, the big hotel over there off the 15 freeway in the Rio, where Gladys Knight and the Pips used to perform. And you know what I mean? I got a chance to sing at the Rio with a live band, you know, and like I said, still a little bit naive, still a little bit naive because that night they loved me too. A live performance, blah, blah, blah. Then I said, you know what? I'm going back to Houston. I'm gonna come back and live here in October. See, that's when things change. It was cool coming in as a traveler, as a guest into the city, but when you become a local, when you become and you decide to plant your seed in the ground, that's when the challenges happen in your life. Because you first have to get broken into it. You have to grow roots into it. You have to go down first. And then that's when you realize that everybody ain't gonna like you. Everybody ain't gonna love you. So I got to Vegas, and you know what? Everybody didn't love me. People start stabbing back and talking this, that. Don't even know me. Don't even, you know, saying, I mean, look here, put me in situations I don't even know. People that you help start hating on you. But you know what? Because I took action, I even sat here the whole COVID. I've been out of town one time since I left, maybe 2 times. I've been beat up. I've been shipwrecked. I've been talked about. I've been lied on. That sounds like a story of Jesus. Yeah. Now, Paul, one of the two, you know what I mean? But you know, when I took action, it led me into something. And I'm gonna announce this. I mean, because tomorrow I'll be walking into another blessing. The YMCA man called me. Well, didn't call me. I called them because somebody heard about what I could do. And they put a word in with the YMCA, and the YMCA said, call this person at the YMCA. So I called this person, and now they want me to come in to a brand new studio built by the YMCA because they have no one to run it. They got a whole green screen studio, state of the art, built by graffiti somebody in this city, and there's nobody to work it. I mean, I got my own studio right here, and I work it every day. But because I took action, and not only that, I'm on the stage, in the show with Hitchville here on the Strip, a residency. I'm acting like the Temptations. You see, that goes back to saying, you know, I said I wasn't gonna sing nobody else's song.
Yeah.
Now I'm singing My Girl. And I'm music, any kind of music, you know. But you know what that does though? That gives me the opportunity for somebody to say, who is that? They know I'm not David Ruffin. So they say, oh, that's Edwin Victory. So you know what? When I got that music that's online and they find out who I am, the music that I took action but going back to Houston to record, it'll probably start selling even more.
Mm-hmm.
So
it works.
Exactly. Now that leads us into number 3. Because, you know, I don't want to stay on here all day. I want to take the next 10 minutes and be off of here because we got some other stuff we got to do. But number 3, can we go into number 3? And I want you to expound on number 3. I'm going to explain. I want you to expound on it because I think that number 3 was what happened to me. Trust your instincts. Whether or not we should trust our instincts it could come up in debate. You know what I mean? You know, you can either have knowledge or, you know, have instincts, and people debate it all the time. But at some point, we need to learn to trust our gut, trust the feeling we have inside. Can you tell me a little bit about instincts?
And, you know, I'll be honest. I think the first thing about instincts is people think, I better think of what could happen at the worst level. But see,
Work.
instinct is also, man, it's the best thing that can happen. You got to step into that moment. And when you just talked about taking action, you just met this person. You don't know, but you know your own character. You know your own decision making. You know your own work ethic. So you can apply that to the intuitive nature of, you know, man, if I make this step, this can happen. Most people are taking the step of, you know, if I take this step, I wonder what will happen. And that's where stagnation is. That's where people are getting stuck. They're looking at what, ooh, this can happen, as opposed to, man, this can happen. Back to you, sir.
Man, you know, when you trust your gut instincts will never lead you astray. You know, rather than this as a justification for returning to overthinking, however, use it as a learning experience that will better attune your gut instinct the next time. You always, when you trust your gut, and the more you trust in your gut instinct, your gut feeling, the more you tune up and you start going into more of your right directions. And those directions will lead to your destiny. You know what I mean? I tell people right now, I believe that in my life right now, I'm holding on to the seed of destiny for somebody. And the reason why I'm holding on to the seed of destiny, because I believe that there are people in this life that are looking to get their victory. And because I have the victory, I believe that the things that happen with me are the seeds of destiny for many people's lives, because when they reach for the victory, that's when you get the seed of destiny. But if
Nobody's trying to block a shot that's not being shot.
Say it again.
Nobody's trying to block a shot that's not being shot.
Man, come on, bro.
If you're not shooting, nobody's blocking. No,
come on now. You got to shoot the shot.
Shoot the shot.
You got to shoot the shot. Number 4, notice what makes you happy. If you know that your current life direction isn't meeting your needs, but you're sure what will, start doing some self-research. If your current life direction is not meeting your needs and making you happy, find out what you want to do. You know, I mean, I woke up this morning after almost a full day of sleep. My day yesterday, I went up. I mean, I'll probably do it again today, but I probably won't do it the same way. On Saturdays, I eat meat. Okay. I don't eat meat too much the rest of the week. But on Saturdays, I eat meat. And I found out why yesterday. Because on Sundays, I eat meat. On Sundays, I eat meat. And I found out why. I found out why my instincts told me to do that. And it's because when I went and I ate meat at lunchtime, I ate a significant amount of meat. You know, I mean, most people who know me notice I've lost a pretty good amount of weight. But I yesterday, when I ate the meat at lunchtime, I came back here and I laid down to rest because I was full. But you know what it made me do? It made me rest the entire day. So that way, now waking up with you every day, it gives me a whole different energy to move forward. Doing this podcast, it gives me a mindset and an energy to win. I mean, just doing the podcast, just doing this. I mean, you know, just doing it, just being on here talking and doing the research and finding out the message every single day. I mean, sometimes I don't get the message of what I'm supposed to do until that particular day. And then God will always give me the points that I need and give me the notes that I need. But you know what? It's because I notice what makes me happy. This makes me happy. Helping people win makes me happy. And that leads me into my number 5. You have to discover your strengths. discover your strengths. We all have individual strengths, but sometimes it's hard to identify them in ourselves because our strengths come naturally to us. We're not always aware that that not everyone has a particular trait or skill, and that's what we take for granted. Everybody has we take it for granted that we all have a particular trait or skill. We don't always, and then we don't realize sometimes we take our own for granted. So sometimes we have to have other people who see into our life, who we trust and we love, and they love us. They see certain things in us. So that's how we discover our strengths and our talents. You've seen things in me over the years that that I would be very, very good at, whether I saw them or not. And now, because you're in my life and I have good people in my life, I now have honed in on these strengths. And
Absolutely.
like I was saying, the opportunity, because I built my strengths, the opportunity with the YMCA now has come up to where now, because of the strengths that I built within myself, I can now help even more people, especially the kids.
I'm just gonna say the same thing. Shoot your shot. You can't find or discover what your strength is if you don't even find out what you may be weak at. At work, what they'll do is they'll give you what's called a SWOT analysis. SWOT. SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. They're gonna find your strength and they're gonna put you where you belong. They're gonna find your weaknesses. And the better companies find weakness and develop them into strengths. But if you could do that for yourself, you put yourself on a higher trajectory right then and there.
You make yourself a valuable commodity.
That's right.
I mean, and I think everybody needs, under the sound of my voice, take today to find out who it is and what it is that you do good. It's not that hard to find. If you're over 40, you've been doing something every day your whole life that literally, I promise you, that if you tap into that, you've been doing something a certain way your whole life. And if you tap into it, you'll find your strength. And if you find your strength, you'll move into the direction that you're supposed to go to actually win in life. I mean, it sounds easy, but if you trust your gut, it is easy.
They say it's not easy. It's simple. It's not easy.
Okay. Oh, okay. Simple. Oh, okay. So simple, like putting the cookies on the cookie sheet and just put them in the oven.
Might not be easy because you got to watch them, right? So you can't just walk away. So it's simple. Follow the recipe.
I like
it's not easy.
Because if you walk away from it, what happens?
Burnt up, baby. Burnt up.
Burnt up. So if you walk away from life, guess what?
Hey,
it's done. It's no good. But you have to manage life. You have to, once you find it and you manage it. Wow. Number 6. Number 6. Here we go. Focus on your values. Focus on your values. Okay. Just as we all have individual strengths, we all have a set of core values that are deeply important on how we live our lives. The more we're living in alignment with our core values, the happier we'll be. If we're not conscious of these values, we're not necessarily going to make the best decisions regarding the life decision. To identify which values are must-haves in your life, a list of values and you must have a list of values and narrow down the top 10 to top 3 that resonate with you. Your top 10 values, narrow them down to the top 3 of the ones that resonate with you. Once you're aware of them, you'll be in a better equipped situation to make important decisions on these values. My top 3 values: love. The love is the most important because love is what covers everything and will trump everything. So if this is my story. How I got to be able to figure out how to love everybody is that I actually had a heart transplant. Okay. Spiritual heart transplant. Now, this was nothing that they told me to do or anybody told me to do. I literally got on the gurney myself and told the Most High God to cut me open, remove out my heart and put his heart in there if he would. And you know what? And I know that I know because I have no problem with love. You know, a lot of times when you tell people I love you, they think it's funny. Oh, he loved me. They're scared of the word. You know, but I'm not scared of the word because I know now, even if you've done me wrong, I still love you because the love of God. If I got God's heart in me, and I tell everybody who wants to really understand how love is, go tonight, lay your butt down on the gurney, lay your butt down on the table, and ask God to take your heart out and give you his heart. That's if you really want that core value. Because some of y'all don't want to know how to love. Some of y'all don't want to love people. The devil is all the way inside you. So you first got to get all that out.
You got to have some values. People value, you know, what do you value? You know, what is important to you? And then the body of your character is going to really show your values. You can say it all you want, but
yes,
there's still nothing work but the work. It's going to come out.
Yeah, my number 2 is very, very important, is integrity. You know what I mean? Do what you say you're going to do. You know, because if you don't do what you say you're going to do, now you're living a lie. You know what I mean? And that's one of those things that I believe everybody who wants to go in the right direction needs, is that you need integrity, because that's how people follow you. And when people follow you, they're only following you because they're trying to find their direction as well. You know, the birds flying in the V, it doesn't mean that bird that's in the front is the best all the time. It means that that's the one that's leading the pack. And if that one gets tired, that means there's another one that will come alongside and move into the front while the other one moves back. You know what I mean? So realize that when you're leading the pack, you cannot look to the right or to the left, and you cannot look behind you. Why? Because that will cause the whole thing to fail. You know, and you have to have that integrity, because when people are following you, you know, we do podcasts for people every day. Okay, we podcast and we're putting people on our broadcast. So our integrity says that we're going to get up every day and we're going to push these buttons and we're going to set these podcast rooms up so people can successfully do their podcast.
Man, every day.
Every day.
Every day
this is work. When the people listen, man, we do this, and listen, everybody out. We do not do this for money. Now, one thing we do is that we spend money doing this. Okay, we'll put seed in the ground to do this. Now, I believe that at some point there will be people who say, "Hey, somebody paying somebody to do something." So guess what? We're going to help them. We're going to give them a little bit of water, and sometimes that water comes in cash app or in an invoice being paid. It's real. You know what I mean? But listen, we do this because we are designed to do this to help people find direction. Whether you share this or whether you don't, we still got to do this because we got to build the content, because guess what? NBC might call us.
That's what I have as a core value in business. It's called value before invoice. See, if you give value, and when you talked about integrity, integrity is not just doing what you said you would do, but doing what you said you would do long after the mood in which you said it in has passed.
Come on, man.
See, that's the deal. It's like, but then over consistent times, like, well, I said that then, but something changed. That's not integrity. See, character is having that value decision. And I'm not gonna go into it. And the value to say, I'm gonna do this, and then in those days where you say, man, I don't feel like doing it, we have emotional intelligence to continue to stand on our value to do what we said we would do, even when it's uncomfortable. So as you said, man, it's not about the money, it's about the impact. And if you make the impact, you'll make the money.
Man, you know, you said something amazing, though, character. You know that really the biggest thing that happened to our school system is they took out character development programs.
Well, it became all about testing and scores and how the income gets, you know, schools doing well and all that kind of, you know, that's not the value system that they're applying. Is that if you test well, you can do well.
Man.
But if you don't test
we gotta run
man,
run this number 7. We gotta run this number 7, man. We're gonna have to go into this tomorrow too, man. You gotta come on early on the broadcast tomorrow, because tomorrow I got Johnny Mack coming on. I think you need to sit in with us tomorrow, because tomorrow we can talk even more about the values and characters, because we both wrote books. And in those books, I know we tap on those subjects in both books. 7 Keys to Victory, 7 Keys to Success. And I know that we tap into these things. But now that goes into number 7, and we're going to leave you right here. Surround yourself with supportive people. Finding the right direction in life is a rewarding challenge that can involve a lot of trial and error. But to give yourself the best chance of finding the right direction, you need to surround yourself with supportive people.
You see the scroll all the time. It says, go where you celebrate it, not where you merely tolerate it.
My God.
And we go to work, we join these organizations, and like, look what I did. I made a pot for the group. And kind of, they don't care. But there are groups that would love that plant pot that you bought or whatever value you bring. Go to those organizations. Get around those kind of people. Those kind of people are willing to open the door. It's like what you said, Edwin, earlier. The value that I saw in you years ago, never changed. You continue to work. We both continue to do what we needed to do. And over time, we continue to have integrity. We continue to have core values. And now today, we put those core values and that integrity together and then mesh to build an amazing company together. And we surround ourselves with people that listen, sold back in to what you do by putting in the work. That's right. I love it, man.
I have a dream.
You man, thank you for having me on your show, bro. Man, listen,
man, we dream big. We dream big here, man. Success Express. We dream big. We dream big. We're creating something great. We know that the kids are gonna follow. We know that parents are gonna follow because we dream big, just like this.
Yeah, I'm Disco Joe, and it's for everybody out there that's chasing dreams. Come on, yeah. Dream big, dream big. I can't help it, I do everything big. Dream big, dream big. I can't help it, I do everything big. Reach for the stars, shoot for the moon. When you work for it, all your dreams come true. That's why I dream big, dream big. I can't help it, I do everything big. I learned the sky's too low to be the limit. Just go Joe, yeah, I'm always winning. Courage in my heart, so I can't be timid. Every other week, find me in another city, doing my dance, making big moves. When you work for it, all your dreams come true. People around me always asking how I came up. Winners never win, so I never gave up. Dream big, dream big. I can't help it, I do everything big. Dream big, dream big. I can't help it, I do everything big. Reach for the stars, shoot for the moon. When you work for it, all your dreams come true. That's why I dream big, dream big. I can't help it, I do everything big.
I'm so blessed to be on the Success Express podcast and network, and you can too, guys. All you got to do is tap in with us, and we will help you get your podcast right here on the Success Express network. We will help you build your show and everything. And we're going to take this last minute of the show to tell you exactly how. And then we're going to close out today because we got some more podcasts to do. Check it out.
Success Express Marketing Solutions presents your virtual video podcast studio. Let the Success Express team help bring your podcasting dreams to life. Here's what we do. We help you come up with show ideas, design graphics for your show, set up your podcast studio, and run the back end of your show. So what do? Be ready for your show. Make sure your guests are ready. Log into the virtual studio, turn your cameras on, and go. Not sure you're ready to go live on a monthly or a weekly basis? You can get the Try Us Out Success Special. It's only $97 with free design setup, All you got to do is try us out, and I guarantee you're going to want more. So get set up today with your virtual video podcast studio from Success Express Marketing Solutions. So go online to Success Express MKTG, and we'll get you set up today. Sign up now and get our free ebook, Modern Podcasting, that'll teach you all the techniques you need to know to get your podcast started today.
Man, it's been a great Motivational Monday show with you today, man. I want to shout out to one of my biggest partners here in Las Vegas. Her name is Ashley Henderson. We call her Ashley Cash because, you know, for Victory Reveal, she's actually becoming a very, very important part. Literally, you know, in every community, I would say that you need about 4 different entities. You need a school, a bank, a church, as well as a grocery store. You know, a store, a retail place where you buy your food and clothing, you know what I mean? But Ashley Cash, you know, her success is making her become an investor, a bank. You know what I mean? So I want to shout out to Ashley Cash because that's a very important position in the community. And I want to thank you for being a sponsor and a supporter for what we're doing here in Victory Reveal because we are helping children to win. And she's coming here on live on her own TV show. Plus the Ashley's Angel show is going to be right here where she shows you how a mother takes care of her 3 daughters. Hey, I'm your man, EWI. And this is my friend, KeJohnna, the grindologist Owens.
The grindologist. Thank you for having me on, my man. Thank you for having me on, man. It's been amazing.
Hey, thank you for being on, bro. I appreciate you, man. And we just gonna get out of here right now, but we're gonna get out of here right like this. Oopsie, we're gonna get out of here like this.
I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. Waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I said I woke up in the morning, now I got the key. I gotta wake up, me all I can be. Then I be online, I call up all my friends. I feel them need some time for the everyday win. And then I hop on the train, Success Express with the cash, yeah, and I'm feeling so. I got that money on my mind, it's time to go. Jiggas, and you know I'm about to blow. And here we go. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. Waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win. I got the key, they let me in. I'm waking up every day win.